We are thrilled to partner with Vanessa Lloyd Scambati of The Literary to welcome and host Foxy Brown, Jackie Brown, Coffee, the woman who many of us grew up with, many of us fell in love with. I've never seen so many brothers at a book signing before, but I think it's a good thing. But you know what? Tonight we get an opportunity to hear from one of the icons of the 70s, but a woman who I have to tell you, now I'm happily married, but as much as I have admired Pam Grier, my Pam Grier moment was when she was in Jackie Brown. And Pam came out with this red shift. It was like the first scene where she has this red shift on, and I told my girlfriend, when I turn 50, I'm gonna look like that. I hate to tell y'all it didn't quite happen, but I'm still working, Pam. I'm still working on it. You're like my role model when it comes to that. I'm working on it. All right, but I have some things I have to tell you, so give me one moment now that I have given you my Pam Grier story. Pam is actually going to share some of her challenges and triumphs during her career and also just in her life. Some of you have probably heard her being interviewed today, and Vanessa's really done an extraordinary job of the publicity around this, as well as our wonderful consultant, Lisa Collins. But we'll have a moment to hear from her directly. And we're using a format that we're probably very familiar with. She will be in conversation with our girlfriend, Patty Jackson from WDAS-FM. It is my understanding that we have index cards here. Do we have index cards? Okay, we're getting the index cards because if you have a question for Pam, you actually should write it on the card. Pass it down. Ushers will be here to take those cards, and we will pass them to Patty. Patty will select the ones that she thinks will be one most appropriate, but also that will help kind of move the conversation with Pam along.
We might have to pull the tape just a little bit on this part, but we are ready to start our Q&A. We have waited weeks since we first heard that she was coming to town. She is a beautiful lady. She's got quite a story to tell. Let's give her a nice, warm Philadelphia welcome. The legendary icon, Pam Grier, who's joining us here at the African American Museum. This is a great day. A great day indeed. Pam, you can grab the mic here. Say hi to everybody. Everyone's excited. The buzz in the city. Did you have a good time when you're here today?
Yes, you know it. What a warm welcome. This was amazing.
Now, you were here a few weeks ago during one of our snowstorms.
Yes, I was. For 3 days at the hotel without food. It was fabulous. Yeah, I got to really see your city. Yeah, it was great. Can I say one thing before, because we're connected to Vanessa, regarding reading? What I love to do is I love reading to children, and I love reading to the elders who cannot read. And audiobooks are vitally important as well. But the book, those children's books that you just presented to me, one day, they're not going to be an ebook because they don't have the illustration. But books are going to be one of the #1 trading commodities. The book, they're going to be valued because we're going to ebook, saving trees, and I just think it's fabulous. And read to your children, read to each other, read to people who can't read. I love sitting there and reading. And I thought, can you imagine me sitting and reading Foxy to someone? Will I bring some energy to them?
The book is amazing. Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. We really go into your life. And I always say, if you're going to tell the story, how hard is it to reveal so much?
It's very difficult because you're revisiting certain moments of your life. Some are not as happy, and some are. It's a wonderful journey, and the impetus for writing my memoir was basically other women who, in our history, have opened doors for me. And many of us, Lena Horne, they've shared some trials. And they said, you know what, you can learn from them. And I thought, what? Because my journey, there's people that they don't know how I survived. But I thought, lessons learned, inspiration, empowerment. And because of you, the audience, I had and still have a career for 4 decades. Without the audience, there is no actor, there is no stage. You've invested your time to come and see and hear me perform, and my obligation was to bring you something, humanize many female characters so that you would understand what she is going through. So in my journey, there's just waves of ups and downs and moments of enlightenment and laughter. And I just wanted to share it with you because I didn't want to be an enigma. Like, I'm not accessible. I get my foxiness from you. Well, you with the beard, maybe not, but I get it from my womanhood. And I see friends. Here's a neighbor from her mom lives around the corner from my mom. She came to see me. I have friends from New Jersey. People have come in to say, I want to know that I was a part of your life. And you really are. You're really important to me.
Well, I got to tell you, you are a part of our lives. When you go back and watch the old clips, so strong. She did her own stunts. So I want you to talk about that, doing your own stunts. But the
I was
stupid. Do you feel it now? Like, I remember that stunt I did.
I remember that broken leg in Coffee. Yeah, I had broken my ankle in Coffee, and the last few days of the scene of running along the street, I had a cast that was painted like a boot, and it had laces on it, and I was like this. You remember that? You're all gonna go back and watch it. Go, yeah, that's Pam. Go, yeah, yeah. And I'm trying to look sexy, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, yes, there. And at the time, they did not have stunt women. J.D. David was my stunt woman, my first stunt woman, and they formed the Black Stunt Men and Women's Union then. And it provided hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs for the industry. And that was a part of the evolution, which is huge today. And to be a part of that, it was great. It was great.
Watching you strong, dynamic, fierce, as for we as women, it just empowered us. It really did, because
I was a country girl.
You were, but you didn't take
country
stuff.
Girl. Are you kidding me? My mom's from Wyoming. That's Coffee. And I'm from Colorado. My grandfather used to take me out hunting and fishing, bass fishing. Know how to bring the boat in, chopping wood. I was driving when I was 10 years old, a John Deere tractor. And they think, oh yeah, she's. Oh, look at that! Did you drive one too? A country girl over there. She's like, yeah. But my grandfather wanted me not to be a victim. He said, I want the girls to be able to know how to do something. Mm-hmm. And thank God for him. He gave us equality.
Was it hard to be that sexy when you were required? Were you surprised when they said, because you were like the ultimate female sex symbol back then, the woman every man wanted, and the women, they said, I want to be like her. Was it hard?
Was it hard? That meant my skin had to be clear. Yes, it was, because often, and especially 70s, it was the free soul. Woodstock. Are children in here? Yes, there's a couple. I'll have to keep it down, keep it tame. Well, there was a freedom, an artistic freedom. Then shorter skirts, women enjoying more skin, men enjoying women showing more skin. It was a time where the woman's body was being celebrated, and still trying to define what's beautiful and what's sexy and what's vulgar. So there was a line, and it was not difficult, but I knew that they were watching me to set an example, politically, socially, and spiritually, which was an effort in itself. But I found that I could watch what other women wore. The bigger the fro, the halter tops. I would get it from, designers, black designers in the community. And they said, well, you have this great body. I was just skinny, But still, it didn't mean that I was sexy. You have to be healthy. And I enjoyed it. I was learning how to put on makeup and eyelashes, and being the best woman I could be. And that was important. I could see that emerging with womanhood, because now we're fiercely taking on our own liberation and our own leadership, and saying to our men, just in case you're not here, I have to be able to take care of things and look good also, because we are female. We are that yin, that yang, that balance. And I knew that then, and I could see it. And I knew, but also, they draw a line. Men, if they saw you pretty, could they respect you? That was vitally important. And the sisters, you what? And so we had that communication happening, which was very interesting for me to see that evolution.
Are we passing? Yes, she is. She is still sexy. Are we passing out the index cards?
Who said that? You. Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you. Are you married?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. And there's her Fox is Foxy Brown right there. She's fabulous.
Make sure you write your questions or comments on those index cards so I can go through them. You've had some great romances. Richard Pryor. Yeah, where do you think of Richard Pryor?
Yes,
Freddie
I have.
Prinze, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that part of your life and high-profile romances.
Well, we'll start out with the youth. One of my first amazing loves, and when I say love, a true, passionate man who was bringing out my intellectual side. And I was quite shy. I had some traumatic experiences and was dealing with who do I speak to, who do I have to be my confidant. And you need that in a partnership. So Ferdinand Lewis Alcindor Jr. was graduating from UCLA, had just been drafted into the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was embracing Islam. And today, we know a lot more about Islam. It is not a monolithic, it's not a monolithic community. It has diversity. Moderates, conservatives, fundamentalists, and some radical. And at the time, he was young and didn't know exactly where he was going. If I'm going to be his spouse, I need direction. And he had only given me less than 3 months to read about how to become a Muslim woman and the Quran. And the direction, I was like, well, where do we fit in? And at the time, I was a child of the women's movement. I hadn't burned my bra yet. I needed it. And he was so, I love the fact that he was embracing another culture and that he really wanted me to explore it. And I was trying as fast as I could. But to some culture, to the Western culture, the perspective is not as fair for women, unless you understand where you are. And from the Eastern perspective, it's tradition. There's a lot of tradition. But I knew that I needed an education. I needed to be independent in my heart because I was working 3 jobs and putting myself through school. No one could do that. No one would do that for me. I was on my own. And he wasn't paying for my college tuition, nor did he have to, nor did I ask him. And I knew if I get married and begin having a family, and not get my education, not have something to fall back on in life. My mom was ill with paralysis. There's so many things going on. And he was just fantastic to me. We had a ball. And you know that first love. Oh, my God. Oh, my, but Jesus. And one day, he called me. Oh, they know about it over there, testifying. They still reliving their first love. I don't blame you. Every time I see him, I go, oh, I could have had 13 kids with him. Oh, my goodness. And on my birthday, he called and he said, hey, happy birthday. And I just wanted to know if, this is a conversation we need to have. And it is, are you going to convert? And I was very truthful. I said, I need more time. I really need more time. And he said, well, if you don't, let me know now, today. I'm going to marry someone this afternoon at 2:00. As I picked myself up off the shag carpeting, I had to respect that. He was my friend. And he went on to marry a lovely woman and had a family, children, and met another lady and had a child and a little boy. And, oh, now. And to this day, we're friends. And he has a rare leukemia that he's fighting. And I'm a cancer survivor, so I know what he's going through. And if he needed me for anything, I'd be there, reading to him Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. Hey. Oh, yeah. Remember this chapter? Yeah. Just kidding. And oh, you especially. I love your laugh. She just, everything I've been doing. So, but he was my dear friend. And with Richard Pryor, Richard really, he wanted to go cold turkey. He was being offered Hollywood, and he knew he had to get to meetings on time. He knew he had to be disciplined, not like before. This is big deals. These are the moments now. And so he said, well, he worked on Grease Lightning, and he knew I was a country girl, and I could, I loved his children. Matter of fact, one of his first birthday we celebrated, I brought all his wives and children there. And he walked into the living room, almost had a heart attack. His left arm went numb. He was like, oh, my God, all his kids and wives and girlfriends. And he's just like, maybe this is too much, this clean thing. So, you've been there, too. You've been there too, haven't you? Come on, babe, let's get all the girlfriends and all the wives and all the kids in this living room. Minnie Riperton was there, my dear friend, and her husband, and Maya and Mark, and Maya is on Saturday Night Live. And with Richard, he knew I was a truth serum. He wanted me to move in, I wouldn't. You're so damn independent. Sorry, children. Sorry, you're so independent. You don't want a fur coat. You don't want diamonds. And the reason why I didn't want diamonds because, there were blood diamonds in South Africa. And I said, no, that's okay. So I said, his horse, Ginger, from the Mudbone folklore. Now, everyone's go back to his albums now. Play him late at night with some wine or beer. And Ginger was injured. So he couldn't the vet wouldn't come out. And he was crying, standing in a bathrobe, with lint in his fro. I don't know what to do. And if this horse dies, his folklore, a part of him is gone. I knew what it meant to save this horse's life. So I said, Richard, we're going to put her in the back of the Jag. My Jaguar, my banana yellow 4-door Jag. Come on, I pulled her through. Richard pushed. Here's her head out one side of the car, the tail out the other. The back of the car goes, ka-boom. Okay, we start going down his driveway and down the 405 to the vet. And here we are on the freeway with 2 black people, horse in the backseat of the Jag, going 90 miles an hour, pipes, bolts, screws, bonk, 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 bonk down the freeway. And we had to get there quick, creating mass chaos on the freeway. And they were like, is that Richard Pryor? Is that Richard Pryor? And I made him laugh. And he said, you're the only one that really makes me laugh, because you're crazy. I thought I was crazy. And I said, yeah, and I don't even do drugs, and I'm crazy. So we had a wonderful, wonderful bond. I learned from my relationship so much. Later on in life, I've been taking these courses called The Art of Listening Well. And if we had listened better 8 years ago, we really wouldn't be in the economic mess that we're in today. I think we've learned now. Listen well, and not just verbal, but body language and what people do and say is critical. And there's one thing I did. I watched Richard because I did have some trauma in my life where the only way I could communicate was by watching. What you'll read about that. There are children here, I can't discuss that.
We are celebrating Pam Grier this evening. The book is Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, and some great questions here. We're going to plow through them. What has been your greatest accomplishment in life?
Surviving cancer.
Do you ever keep in touch with Philip
I had
Michael
18
Thomas?
months to live, and I was sent to Chinatown to examine Chinese herbs and the yin and yang, and I survived from it. I'm sure of it.
You had very advanced stage of cancer.
Yes, I had 2 operations, and at that time, another lively story. The boyfriend that I was with was so afraid that I was going to die, afraid of illness. And as you've probably all experienced, there are people who are afraid of illness and will abandon you. Well, he abandoned me. And Gregory Hines showed up, Steven Seagal, dear friends, the president of the Writers Guild of America, friends showed up and supported me. When I was 3 days out of my surgery, not knowing if I'm going to live and feeling so much is lost, and they were there, a lifeline, I was saying, of people, and not necessarily strangers. When they show up in your hospital room, and the clock is ticking, they are family. They are much closer than you've ever imagined. And I was surprised. And Peter Douglas, who produced Something Wicked This Way Comes, he came. My mom was there. My mom took off. And when my mom could not take off from work, I was there by myself, taking treatment and therapy. Peter Douglas came in with a blender, a bag of ice, some tequila and margarita mix, and made my mother margaritas in the hospital room. And total straight, he was my boss. And he came in and took care of my mother and said, she's going to be okay. So, little angels, that's why I put in my book, thank you for all the guardian angels who have watched over me. And I think from my standpoint, there are people who may not be strangers, but we are each other's guardian angels. And you don't know how important and what we provide for each other. And I think it's in the universe. I think good things are happening. I feel it. I really, really feel it.
Many people enjoyed your time on Miami Vice. Do you still keep in touch with Philip Michael Thomas?
I wish I could.
Hey! In this book, what do you hope that people take away from it?
Oh, first a box of Kleenex. No. But there's wisdom, lessons learned. I am sharing many of my lessons and intimacies with people, and I think a lot of people will relate to the choices that I made regarding character, turning down a job. When my dog was dying, I was not going to leave him because he didn't leave me when I was sick. And I was giving up employment. 3 times I turned down Tim Burton of Beetlejuice. And then he called me. I was in the mountains. I was deeply depressed. And he called and he said, I'd like for you to audition for, Mars Attacks. Played Jim Brown's wife. Ray J's son, I said, okay. And I said, but I'm sorry, I can't. I'm in a very, depressed state of mind. My dog is very, very ill. He's going to pass away very soon, and he was with me. He's critically. I can't leave him right now. I know what abandonment is like. And I couldn't leave my dog. And as cute as he was, I said, I know. His name was Magic Johnson. And the other dog was Bowie. Eddie Murphy named him. And he said, okay. They hung up, and they called back a week later, and they said, we'd like for you to put something on tape. I said, well, I can't. I don't want to. This is a comedy. I don't want to sob through the tape. So I said, thank you, but no thank you. So the third call was Tim Burton himself, and he said, Pam, this is Tim Burton. Yeah, right. He says, no, really it is. And I just want to tell you, I'm very sorry about your dog, and you won the audition. You have the job, because the character didn't know the script, didn't know anything about it. But you're the mom that wouldn't leave her children for Tim Burton. So you have the job. So if saying no, because I needed to be with my dog, many people said, no, I'm gonna take the job. But I said, no, mm-mm. And all of a sudden, I received a blessing. They waited. They shot around me, flew me out, took care of me, said, we'll take great care of you. And it was just fantastic. And we didn't even have to barter for my salary. They just said, here. That was a reward. I mean, we didn't have just that much money for such a small role. I said, okay, thank you. Gratitude, namaste, gratitude. You know, so see, sometimes when you do say no, it comes back in a greater gift.
Who are some of the actresses you admire today?
Oh, the list is long. Okay, Ruby Dee. Ruby Dee is just one of my all-time favorites, and the late Diana Sands, but also some of the younger ones. I'm working with Taraji P. Henson on a film with Tom Hanks right now. I play Julia Roberts' best friend, and she and Cedric the Entertainer are also in the film, and we're just acting crazy. It's great. Just about any actor, actress who is passionate about what I do, I love. And I love their work because we're all so unique. And we don't compete with one another because we're all different. Art doesn't compete. Gauguin is not competing with Monet.
June 14th, you're going to be on the big screen. May 14th, Queen Latifah Common, Just Right. You're in that movie.
Yes, I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that. Because I wanted to play Common's mother. They want me to play, Queen and Paula Patton's mom. I said, no, them little wenches, I know what they up to. They want to be like me. No, baby, come on, Common. Let's go play some ball. I love boys, but it's a wonderful love story. It really is.
Cable TV is showing a lot of your movies. Do you get any of the money from that?
Yes, in perpetuity. And also, Screen Actors Guild, since day one, makes sure all their actors get residuals, and part of the residuals go to their pension plan. There is a pension plan within the Screen Actors Guild of 125,000 members, so when you retire, you have a pension plan that hedge funders can't get to. And we know about that. And by the way, Wall Street is moving to London, okay? Seriously, London is going to be the number one financial capital of the world. They're doing that right now as we speak. Read Fareed Zakaria, The Post-American World. It's a history book, a lesson in economics and politics and globalization. It's a brilliant book. Read that, and you'll be outraged again. However, it's calming when you have information and knowledge. You can make better decisions.
Are you related to Rosie Grier?
I wish I was. No, and I know he wish I was. We were related. No,
okay.
I'm sure maybe 70 down the line. I don't know. No, I'm sure. We have the same spelling, but we even thought, do we have any relatives with the same names? And no, we don't. But I love him dearly.
What is your love life like now? There's a gentleman in here who.
Well, as the man with the hat that just walked in. It could be better now. I don't know. My love life right now is pretty fantastic. In the last relationship that I had didn't turn out as well. I became this social inferior for some reason. There was ascension. We're into more of elitism and classism than racism right now. So there's, we're black or white or indifferent. And if I don't have an Ivy League education, I'm there, but I don't want to be a fetish. I want to be an equal. So, moved on from that one. But the new interest right now, oh my God. He's in Mongolia. He's implanting tracking devices in cobras. He loves animals. He's a vet. And he was so enamored with me because I rescue horses and dogs, and I retrain the horses for a therapeutic riding program, which Subaru, thank you, Abana Jacobs, Subaru USA, gave my two charities, foresters, so that we could bring clients to my program and use the vehicles to take animals to the vet for pro bono vet care. I've been doing that now for 12 years.
There's talk of a Pam Grier movie.
Yes, there is.
Ah.
Yes, can you imagine?
Who could play Pam Grier?
You should have put that on cards. Yeah. Well, I put that on Facebook and it blew up. It just, the whole site shot down because the debates of who was going to play it and why, it varied from Queen to Jada Pinkett. It was Beyonce. To Taraji, it was insane. It was amazing. And matter of fact, I don't want to be there that day when I'll say here's my vote. Casting. but I just wanted to be so, have maybe a happy ending, but be real and show parts of the book that maybe people may not get, because there are intimacies that are valid, medical. Some people will go, oh wow, I didn't know. But life-threatening, when your lover, your boyfriend has a habit that threatens your health. And a couple of times in the book, I talk about it in detail. And I'm very serious about saving lives. So as you men and women read these parts, I hope I have some control. I'm not going to give it up at all, but that we can tell, because drugs are in today. They're back into drugs. And there's certain behavior and habits that are life-threatening to women. And if your health is impaired, you need to say something. Because I know what it was like did his behavior cause me to lose a part of my body and my soul? So we're going to have some real issues. It's going to be very dramatic and very funny, you know.
Wow. At 60, you still look fabulous. People want to know, what are you doing? What is it? Is there something secret, the way you live? You know, just knowing that you are a cancer survivor, we look at you and we are in awe. Like, wow.
I'm in awe seeing all of you in here today. Well, I don't define myself by my age. I define myself by my energy. And we all have different energy from the day we're born. And that's how I live my life. I don't know any other way, because I don't compete and compare my whatever beauty aesthetic is with someone else. It's from here. And the fact that someone will say, well, what is your beauty secret to your skin care? Well, back in the day when the Geechee aunties used to rub, my face when I was a baby with my diaper, we know what that did. That, ammonia smoothed your skin out, kept you from having baby rash. So, but today, I think when someone is handsome, a woman is beautiful, it's from their confidence. The confidence to go to the health food store, buy organic foods, drink better water, get sleep, practice yoga, join Pilates, walk your dog, be spiritually uplifted by your purpose, which I believe is also a community service. That's attractive to me, is doing something for others. And there's nothing better than walking away and knowing that there's someone who need. Like for Dining Out for Life, that was April 29th. For HIV/AIDS, Ted Allen and I were the host, and knowing that the money raised millions of dollars. I don't know what it was this year, $6 or $7 million across the country. 25% of every restaurant that was participating would donate money to HIV/AIDS and cancer, and food would be taken to patients who can't get dinners. So that community service makes me feel great. Makes me feel great. And then I was doing the PSA during a snowstorm in Philadelphia with no food in the hotel. And the front say, we're booked up. Can I sleep with you? Some of the staff had to stay at the hotel. They were sleeping on sofas all over the place. It was crazy, but everyone took care of each other. That was
How
cool.
do you think African American women are portrayed in the media today when you think of the onslaught of videos and the movies?
I think beautifully in most of them. I'm not sure about MTV, VH1, but the music role is totally a different beast than the film and television and theater. On television, the women are beautiful and they're educated, even though everybody is a coroner, on CSI, but or at a hospital, beautifully and well educated. And you see these images, and children see the images, and that's a positive, imprint. So I think it's great. And in films, the same. I mean, Benjamin Button, Taraji, come on, she was brilliant. She was just brilliant playing that. And so I think, and in television, most of the networks know they have the responsibility because they don't want to hear from y'all. They don't want to hear about, you know what? Y'all say they don't want to go through that. So they make sure standards and practices live up to, because they too feel responsible. If they want citizens to be able to buy the advertising, have the education to buy the advertising, that is their purpose, to make sure that is a balance.
A lot of people love Jackie Brown. What was it like getting that call from Quentin Tarantino?
Oh my goodness, that was something. Well, first of all, I bumped into him on the street, and I was with Warrington Hudlin, of the Hudlin brothers, and he was taking me to a meeting, and there was this wild man in shorts and a T-shirt in the street, and he said, "That's Quentin Tarantino." I'm going, Pulp Fiction? Reservoir Dogs, the director, the #1 pop, culture director. He says, yes. And so Quentin sees me, and Warrington calls him over, and he says, hey, meet Pam Grier. And he says, he goes berserk. His hair stands on end. And I'm going, he says, I'm writing a movie for you. I'm writing a movie for you. I'm going, and you know how fast he talks. He's kinetic. He's like, what? Yeah, really? Okay. Well, thank you. So nice. Great. So seriously, it's coming. He sends me the script in an envelope. Manila envelope with 44 cents due in stamps. Little stamps all over the corner, all every which way. And they've been sending me the yellow notices, 44 cents due from LA, from Los Angeles, 44 cents due. And I go, who doesn't have 44 cents? And here's this multi-gazillionaire. And he drives an old, 88 Volvo that doesn't have a gas cap on it, bald tires, and it hasn't been. And when the car loses its shine, it's amazing. So, when I read it, it was Jackie Brown, and I open it up and I'm like, oh my God, it's called Jackie Brown, and I'm reading it. It's fantastic, and I go. And it says a note, please call me. Please call me, let me know if you like it. So I call him, and I go, Quentin. May I call you Quentin? You owe me 44 cents. And he said, well, what do you think of the script? What do you think of the script? And I'm going, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And he says, well, wow, I'm glad, because I was about to pass. I thought you didn't like it, and I didn't hear from you. And I said, well, I'm sorry, you just had this money due, and I just didn't think it was important. He says, oh, I'm sorry, but I said, so which role am I? He says, you're Jackie Brown. And maybe not, you're real dense. Okay? I thought I was playing Bridget Fonda's role, And he says, no, you're Jackie Brown. I wrote this for you. Remember? And I go, yes, right. But a lot of people make those promises, and that's an endeavor to invest 2 years of your life. He'd been working on it for 2 years. And I was just amazed that he would humbly write something for me. He invested 2 years of his life. I owe him at least one child. At least one. You agree? She agrees? She agreed? She 2 over here, 3 or 4, triplets, something. Can you imagine Pam Grier, Quentin Tarantino, babies running around here? Oh my God! But still, but just Just the fact that someone felt that my work should be seen, and he appreciated the films in the 70s so much. He said, "This is my Foxy Brown." And he said, "I'm writing it." Oh, there it is, Jackie Brown, right there. There it is, the collection. And he said, "And I'm writing it from my female side." He said, I believe a man becomes more of a man when he identifies his female side. And I said, "How deep are you?" Oh my goodness, this is great. Your female side. Do any of the other guys know this? It's great. It's great. And and to have it, and we had a ball, all the people that came aboard to do that very complex film. I was honored, and that doesn't happen every day. I think I do a movie every 10 years. That's okay with me. Like I said, I'm very humbled just to be in a very privileged, and art is subjective. Not everyone likes what you do, but I'm very happy to be in this industry and get a chance to politicize and sneak little things in for us.
Yes, from watching you in the L Word, even on Smallville, we enjoy watching you on television.
You know about Smallville?
Yes, know about Smallville.
Well, Amanda Waller was written in 1988, the first African-American character for DC Comics, and she's a PhD in the comic strip. You can Google the character. She's fantastic. She's 200 pounds, 5'1", and she is the head of Checkmate, which is the Blackwater of the future, and she protects the superheroes from the aliens. And she's a fierce character. I mean, I love playing this character. She's just great, so smart, And I had to look. I was doing my research on Blackwater and mercenaries and reading the Afghan and learning about being stealth and military. And I am a disciple, I guess a student of Sun Tzu, The Art of War, since I was a young child from being in the military. And I also read The Art of War for business and management and sales, which is very good for negotiating.
That is good for negotiating, so.
Sun Tzu, the silent general, he wins.
In the beginning of your career, one of the things that surprised me in the book, you started off singing. Do you think you'll ever sing again?
All the time.
Okay.
I love singing, and I love gospel. I was raised with gospel, a group called the Echoes of Youth, and the family that mortgaged their home to buy the bus and for us to tour right before the Watts riot is in the book. I just love James Cleveland. I love Mighty Clouds of Joy, the Five Blind Boys, Shirley, Caesar, BB, and CeCe Winans. I love gospel, and I love jazz. And when I arrived in California, I was working, one of my first jobs was singing background for Bobby Womack on his I Can Understand It album. And it was fabulous because he was with the Falcons and Sam Cooke. That's history. It's fabulous. So then he says, "I have a friend that needs some more background singers." So I said, "Okay, well what is it? Paying scale, $300. I was working 5 jobs and bringing home 60. I said, "I'll do it." And so I get to the CBS recording studios. And I go up and I sign in and I see these sisters sitting here, and he says, "Oh, that's Wonder Love." And I go, "Oh, the background singers for Stevie Wonder." I said, "That's fantastic." Sarita Wright, Denise Williams, Lanny Groves. I'm like, "Oh wow, they're really good." I don't know if I'm that good, but I can hit a few octaves. So I walk over. He says, "Go on in and say hello to Sylvester." It's Sly of Sly and the Family Stone, with a big fro and some leather and fringe, and he has this big laugh, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm singing background for Sly and the Family Stone," And then later on, in walks Jimi Hendrix to just jam with him, and he sent us home. I was wounded. But that was my first week. That was my first week in Los Angeles.
Wow. The book is amazing. Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. You have blessed us. You're a beautiful spirit. And I thank you. I will remember this. I will remember this. Just always admired you, loved you, and so many people in this room do. Don't want to start shouting out a lot, but I know Shonda McLean Hill is here from the Philadelphia Tribune. I got to shout her out. That's my Tribune boss. The legendary broadcaster, Trudy Haynes. Can you please stand up? Pam, this woman is an icon here. An icon here. And Trudy, we love you. An icon here.
Luminaries.
Open the door. When you see our icons, we must embrace them and tell them that we love them. My colleague, Mimi Brown, where is she? I thought I saw her. Mimi Brown, everybody is back there. Please know that you have touched so many people. And this is our way of saying that we love you, the doors that you've opened, the images, the sexiness, the empowerment, the stunts, and your beauty, and how you continue to shine for others. You're going to have a chance to sign your books. Now, you know the rules. Got to buy the book. And then you can come up. For those who just want to mosey on up, y'all going to have to get to the back of the line because we're here to sell books. Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. It's Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Happy Mother's Day.
Moms-to-be, mother figures. But thank you all. Didn't we have a good time? Let's get ready to sign some books. Thank you so much for coming out.
You're 60, I'm 65.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm as good as you. My God.
I'm Mimi Brown from WDAS. Sorry I missed you today. It was a great interview.
Dr. Jamie,
Mimi, M-I-M-I.
I know that for sure.
What a pleasure.
Okay.